couple of days. And Eric, just to give you a little bit of a background, I'm excited about it. I'm so excited about the boot camp. What I've done is I made a extra little group page for my people who want to use Teamzy, and I'm just kind of relaying to them what I learned in there. So a lot of these people are up to speed and they're kind of working it with me. So cool. I'm so excited about that. And I've told them that as much as ItWorks has changed my life, that's how Teamzy has changed my business. So ItWorks has completely retired me from dental hygiene, and I make 4 times as a dental hygienist and supporting my twin 7-year-olds as a single mom. So it has really changed my life. And then Team has just really breathed a breath of fresh air into my business, and my team is so excited about it. People are saying stuff like, I can't wait to wake up and work my business. And people are saying, like, now I realize that after a year in this business, I've never really worked it, but now I'm working it less and enrolling more. And that's what I found is I'm working less, enrolling more. I put my phone down and spend more quality time with my kids. So I've absolutely
love it.
And I shared with some of the other leaders on the team. You heard from Ashley just a second ago. She's actually at the very top rank of our company, and she just started using it yesterday, Ashley? Yesterday, 2 days ago, and she is super duper pumped. So I'm excited to hear whatever you have for us. I personally wanted to figure out how to use Teamzy to the very best of whatever you have to offer. So that's why I wanted to do the boot camp and just share it with everybody. At first, I wasn't sure about sharing it with brand new people. I thought it would be too overwhelming, but after using it for a month and a half, 2 months now, I think starting them out with it gives them more of a direction. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that. But you guys, this is Eric. He is in California?
Yes, I'm in San Diego.
And he was with Beachbody. And so he developed this, right, isn't it, Beachbody?
Correct,
so
yes.
he developed this system after working and being very successful in that company. And this system is basically what all multi-level marketers have been praying for years, I believe. I know I have. And it's just a very simple way to keep track of your business and to make sure you don't drop the ball on your leads, and to make sure that you're meeting those daily goals that are actually income producing. And I've absolutely loved it. And I'm so excited to hear from you tonight.
Well, I don't know if I could have scripted a better introduction than that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm very humbled by that feedback, and I am going to say confidently, you're going to be even more excited about Teamzy in about 40 minutes from now.
Well, okay.
So, all right, cool. So here's what we're going to do first. I'm going to mute everybody. You guys are muted. That's just so there's not a lot of distraction. But if you feel the spirit move and want to say something, just unmute yourself. You click on the microphone icon. You'll be unmuted for a second, okay? You can say something. But here's what we're going to do. First off, my name's Eric Johnson. Nice to meet you guys. I'm the creator of Teamzy and the CEO of the company. I'm going to take you guys first through some training on relationship marketing. Relationship marketing is the philosophy and the system Teamzy's built upon. Okay, so I'm going to teach you some of the basics about relationship marketing, because Teamzy is more than just an efficiency tool. It's actually a way to do this business with heart. Okay, so I want to teach you a little bit of that, just like the 101 class on relationship marketing. And then I'll take you into Teamzy, show you how to set it up correctly. I'll show you how to do a power hour and crush it. Okay, I'm talking about easily connecting with 20 people in 15 minutes. I'll show you how to start conversations with people, how to take those conversations into an invite about the business, how to follow up on an invite like a pro until you move them from prospect all the way over to your team. Sound good? Then we'll do an open Q&A. Oh my gosh, if you still want more Teamzy at that point, I'll be here to answer your questions. So if you have questions, keep those and get them ready, and you can ask me at the end. Sound cool? All right. The one thing I did mention in the beginning, if you guys are home near a computer or on your phone and you're not driving, turn your cameras on. Turn your cameras on. You will get 80% more out of this call if your camera's on, because it's an accountability issue. And also, when I ask for you guys to make some little small commitments during this call, the fact that other people are seeing you do it, you'll be twice as likely to actually do some of those things. And those things are to help you. So definitely turn on your cameras. And if you're like in your pajamas and you haven't had makeup on in 6 days, it's okay. Just turn your lighting down. It's cool. It's no big deal. No one's looking at you up close. It's all good. All right. Ready? All right, let's do this. Wait, I want to start over here. Okay. Great. All right, so this is where we're going to start. How to leverage relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. How many of you guys have heard the term relationship marketing before? How many of you guys think it means selling things to people you know? A lot of people think that's what it means, and it's not that at all. That has it backwards. Relationship marketing is actually putting the focus of your business on building relationships. That is actually your marketing strategy, is building relationships. Okay, and I'll show you guys how we do that as we go. Also, I'm going to show you guys how to be super efficient with your time. When I say power hour boss, I mean literally less than an hour a day getting all your income producing activities done. That includes your planning, which you won't actually have to ever do with Teamzy. Okay. A little bit about my backstory. I come from the industry of business coaching and consulting. That's what I've been doing for, 16, 17 years. I've been teaching people how to build their business. I stumbled into network marketing by accident. It was just probably like a lot of you guys. Jenny mentioned I was at one time with Beachbody. I found some of their products. I lost a bunch of weight, felt great. And I was really excited about what they did for me. So I was sharing it with people. When I realized it was a great opportunity to create additional income, as a business consultant, I took a look at it and said, okay, if somebody came to me and said, help me build this business, the first thing I would tell them to do is go find professional tools to help them leverage their time. Right? How many of you guys there's never enough time? Yeah, nobody has any more time than you, by the way. Nobody does. But the most successful people have learned how to be really efficient with their time. So I was looking for the tools that I knew existed in other industries. I'd even help build them in other industries. And I thought, a multi-billion-dollar industry like network marketing surely has amazing tools. Now, I won't lie, I didn't find many. And the ones I did find kind of suffered from what most software platforms suffer from: overcomplicated, hard to use. And by the overcomplicated, hard to use, guys, I just want you to know I'm a nice guy. There's a lot of cuss words involved in that emotion, trying to use those things, seriously. And they were focused on the wrong, this is my heartfelt belief, on the wrong approach. They weren't focused on relationships. They were focused on generating sales and recruits at the expense of relationships. And they were based on the kind of old school, I call it the 1984 network marketing class, on how to create mystery and basically fool people into being interested. That is not me at all. You guys will know 5 minutes from now that I am what you see, and I'm upfront about everything. And I believe you can do more business this way. And I believe it's more fun, and I believe it's more rewarding. And what I do know from coaching it for 16 years is that it also gets better results. It gets much better results. Okay, so here's my story. I went looking for these tools. I couldn't find anything, at least nothing that I thought was easy enough to use. I'm not very techie. And certainly nothing based on relationships. So I thought, wow, what a great opportunity. So we built it. So that's what you're going to be looking at today is Teamzy. We actually just built it because there was nothing out there like it. All right, so let's go back and talk a little bit about relationship marketing. So what is relationship marketing? The first thing I want you guys to understand is that relationship marketing is a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system. That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business, okay? It's not just a feel-good, hugging on your customers, singing Kumbaya together kind of emotion. It's actually a system that will build your business. You don't need anything else. Does that make sense? Okay, and I want you to have a mindset shift right here at the very beginning of our talk tonight, and that's this. Your business is not, I saw one of your t-shirts. It was coffee, wraps, and greens, right? Coffee, wraps, greens. That's not your business. I mean, that's a great t-shirt, but that's not your business. Your business, guys, is lead generation. You are in the lead generation business. It does not matter how many people you signed up today or how many sales you made. If you didn't do activities that lead to new leads in your business, you did not build your business today. You did not work on your business today. Does that make sense? This is starting to think like a business owner. You're in the lead generation business. Now, what's your lead generation system? Hopefully after today, it's relationship marketing. All right. So the next principle I want you guys to understand is this. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. If you go to business school and get a fancy MBA, they'll tell you that your duty as a business is to generate profit. And I will tell you, if you put your focus and your duty on developing relationships, you'll never have to worry about profit. Okay? What we do is we turn our relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. We turn relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. See, the problem with the way most people approach this business is they're looking for somebody who's ready to join the team or ready to buy. With relationship marketing, we turn everybody into our advocate. They either join our team, they become customers, or they're out there telling everybody, whenever they're thinking about what we do, we're the person that they're telling people about. They're excited about what we're doing. Everyone's our advocate or our customer or on our team or all three. Make sense? Okay. It's okay if it doesn't. If you catch 2% of this presentation, you're going to have a great week in your business. So don't worry. Don't worry about getting it all. All right, but we are recording. Next principle, relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Okay, another way I like to say this is, if you're a jerk, this ain't gonna work. Okay, if you're a jerk, this ain't gonna work. How many of you guys have come across somebody in this business, maybe not with ItWorks, but somebody who's not trustworthy? Yeah, and how many of you guys have come across people who up till now trusted you, but when you told them you were with ItWorks, now they're suddenly skeptical and they're guarded and they're suspicious? Why do you think that is? Because this industry has trampled on trust for so many years. We have to rebuild it, right? And so anyways, I love that. If you're a jerk, this ain't gonna work. When you're recruiting new people and you sit down and you have coffee and telling them about the business, tell them that. Hey, just so you know, if you're a jerk, this ain't gonna work. Not the way we do it on this team. I think you'll get the right kind of people. It depends on trust. Now here's the cool thing. Trust makes the work fun. If people trust you just a tiny bit, you don't have to convince them, you don't have to sell them, you get right to work. They're ready to be helped, right? Have you guys experienced this? When somebody's like, yeah, I trust you, tell me what to do. It's the best. By the way, I have the honor right now of leading business boot camp with Teamzy, and it's that situation for me. I absolutely love boot camp because people just say, just tell us what to do and we'll do it. And we get to help people and get tremendous results. You guys, the same thing will happen in your business when they trust you. Trust also takes that icky salesperson feeling away. If there's a little bit of trust, there's no icky feeling. How many of you guys would die rather than be the icky salesperson? That's me too. A lot of times we avoid opportunities because we don't want to be icky. You don't need to avoid those opportunities. You just need to build some trust, and then there's no icky. Okay. Also, you get to go for yes. You get to go for yes. And this is a stab right at the go for no philosophy. Do you guys know what that is? The go for no philosophy? I know a couple of you leaders have done this. This is a real common kind of tactic that's used in our industry. The idea is like you take your war market list and you just go for it. You know, you just cold invite them and you go for, the idea is you go in for no, you're going to get rejected a ton, but it's cool because you're going to uncover the yeses that way. And the problem is that you're burning through your best relationships, and it's kind of like we talked about violating that trust. You're throwing them away as they say no, like dead bodies over your shoulder, looking for yeses. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Those relationships I spent years building, I'm going to build them up and go for yes. I'm not going to go for no with anybody. Does that make sense? And so with relationship marketing, I'll show you guys how we invest in those relationships. We actually uncover more yeses, but we don't create those fractured relationships in the process. Okay, so how do you build trust? How do you do it? I'm going to give you guys four essential ingredients to building trust tonight, okay? And I'll go through them really quickly and then I'll break them out for you guys. This is what they are. Number one is chemistry. Chemistry. Number two is character. Character. Number three is competence. Competence. And then number four is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. You guys got those? Okay, let's go through them one by one. Excuse me. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Okay, you guys probably, this one makes sense, right? Pretty clear. Here's the principle here. Isn't it hard to do business with somebody you don't like? It's hard to do business with somebody you don't like. In fact, there's a statistic that says something like 89% of people would prefer to do business with somebody they like. So here's the thing. find common ground. So that's not an issue. Now, I just throw this out here because I don't have time. I would love to sit here and give you guys a 2-hour training just on social media. Social media is a great example of an easy place to find common ground, but a place where most people are spending all their time finding out what's different about each other. You guys, just so you guys know, you guys own a business now. And so you don't have the luxury of dividing up people. Your job is to find common ground all day long. So think about what you post and make sure that what you are doing is being the connector, not the divider. Make sense? Okay. Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you are relatable. Okay, character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you are relatable. Please notice that this definition of character, it's not something you have, it's something you do. Okay, character is not something you have, it's something you do. It's important because a lot of times we think our character and our integrity is something that we just intrinsically have, and we get all twisted if somebody questions it. How many of you guys feel like when you feel like somebody's questioning your character, you get upset about it? I do too. But think about this. If character is something you need to be demonstrating and if somebody's questioning you, once you get over the emotion of how dare you, think about this. Wow, I must not be demonstrating my care for this person. I need to show up more with my character. Make sense? Okay. Character. Oh my gosh, so huge. All right. Again, everything you say, everything you do, everything you post, are you demonstrating your character? Is it about caring for other people? Okay. Now, again, going back to social media, I always think this, is this about me or is this helpful to others? Just thought. Okay. Number 3. Come on. Okay. Hold on. My slideshow died. Every once in a while with Zoom, that happens to me. It's so weird. Drives me crazy. Number 3, competence. There we go. Competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Do you know enough about your products to help me with my specific need? Right? Can you recommend what I need to get? Can I trust you with that? Are you competent with that? And now that you've helped me, let's assume, and I love these products, and I might even join the business, do I feel confident that you're the person to mentor me in this business? Are you demonstrating that competence to me? I need to know you're competent if I'm going to trust you as my ItWorks professional. Make sense? Now, here's the thing. How many of you guys, anybody kind of new, somewhat new, new-ish? Have you guys ever, maybe you're not as competent, right? We've got a couple of ambassadors on the call and you guys are like, wow, right? They're competent, right? I hope. Okay. So have you guys ever been told or thought, well, just fake it till I make it? Just fake it till I make it. Okay. That's like, I was told that too. And to some extent, that's a good thing, only if it's about talking about your attitude, right? Getting your attitude up. But as far as competence goes, please don't fake it. Don't pretend that you're competent when you're not, because remember, this is about trust. The system's about being real with people. And it's okay if you're new. Your team, look around. Your team is competent. You lean into your team's competence when you're new. Hey, I'm brand new and I'm just learning about these, but the cool thing is I've got the experts at my fingertips and we can jump on a 3-way call or I can ask them questions. I can get you any answer you want on the products. I'll get you expert. I have access. It's like me telling you, you have a brain condition and my best friend is the top neurosurgeon in the country, right? I've got access to the best. And also same thing, will you plug into this team, the training programs, the support, the mentoring, we'll do it together, but we're going to be part of this amazing team. You lean into the competence of your team until you build it yourself. Okay. Don't fake it and teach your people as you bring people onto the team. Look, you're brand new. Don't fake it. Don't make stuff up. Just lean into the you don't need to. Lean into the competence of the team. Okay? And then as you build it yourself, you can demonstrate yours. Make sense? Cool. Chemistry, character, competence. First 3. And there's a principle here that I want to leave with you before I go to the 4th one. And that's this. When someone's going to do business with you, they only care about 3 things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now, these aren't questions that people think out loud. There's things that happen in their subconscious or in their heart. It's more of a feeling. Okay? But you need to be aware of this because these 3 questions are where every objection comes from. Every objection comes from these. So it's okay to get objections and learn how to overcome those objections. But when you get an objection, it's like a red flag saying, okay, I need to work more in this relationship. I need to invest more in building trust with this person. Make sense? Okay. Number 4, consistency. How many of you wish it was just 3 and I didn't have to do consistency? That's me. Okay. How many parents on the call? Got kids? I know we saw a few. Good. How important is being consistent to building trust with your kids? It's everything, right? It's no different with other adults. Consistency is key. Okay. I love this principle, which I lifted from one of my favorite books. I'll recommend it to you in a second. It's this: people respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. Guys, we're a few minutes away from me showing you a tool that will make you so consistent, people are going to be amazed by you. But this principle is amazing because people see you being consistent, and not only do they think it's cool, but they want to be near it. It attracts people to you. It's like a moth to a flame. Not only will you build trust with people, but more people will want to join you because they see what you're doing. How many of you have been told you're an inspiration? Is it kind of weird to be told you're an inspiration sometimes? I mean, if you ask your kids or your spouse, am I an inspiration? They might giggle a little. They might say yes, but they'll probably giggle a little because they've seen the dumb things that we do as human beings. But the reason why people find you so inspiring is that consistency is so impressive. Does that make sense? Doesn't this almost sound like inspiration? They respect it and desire it for themselves. Yeah, it's huge. The consistency is huge. So how many of you guys, just by show of hands, are consistent with using your products as part of your lifestyle? Okay, well, that's a good start. Yes, okay, good. Now, how about social media posting? How many of you guys consistently post and share your story online? Awesome, cool. All right, so that's good. I would want to see that. Now, let me ask you another question. This is, as Zig Ziglar would say, the checkup from the neck up. Oh, wait, before I move on to that, let me just recommend this book because I told you I would. It's called Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. If you guys haven't read this, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if it still looks like this. I've owned this book a long time. They may have changed the cover art. That book is awesome. For your personal development reading, Influence, Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. So good. So good. Some of you guys, if you're brand new, it might kind of blow your minds, but you leaders are going to read it and be like, where has this been my whole life? Okay, so here's your checkup for the neck up. Are you as consistent with relationships? Okay, are you as consistent about staying in touch with your relationships as you are about posting on social media, for example? And this is where the rubber hits the road, guys. Because this is the principle I want to share with you. People won't believe you. I went too far. People won't believe you till they see you. Okay? People won't believe you till they see you. Eventually I'll get it there again. There we go. What do I mean by this? I mean, you're posting on social media, you're successful, you're doing great, you're sharing your lifestyle, and there are a lot of people following you and watching you like a television show. True? And if you're well networked, and I'll just share my story. When I first started my business, I was well networked. I had spent years building a great network of relationships and building trust in a completely different industry. And so I had those people who already trusted me. And when I invited on social media, people came. You know, I'd do a post and I'd get a few people to join the team. And I was like, wow, this is great. Now, that may not be the case for all of you, but even somebody who's well networked will get some results doing that. But compared to how many people are watching you, it's a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage. True? People are watching you and they don't believe you mean them. They see your invites. They see your lifestyle. They see what you're doing and they think it's so cool. And some of them even wish they could do it. But they don't believe you're inviting them. Why? Because I haven't heard from you since high school. Some of you guys, that was much more recent than it was for me. But you still get the idea. They don't believe you until they see you. In other words, You need to connect with them one-on-one before they believe you mean them. Because relationships are a contact sport. Relationship building is a contact sport. It means you need to be in contact with somebody to have a relationship with them. That's what my slide would say if it didn't freeze on me. I tell you what, we're going to have to call Apple and tell them I need a new computer. My computer's only a year old, but hey, why not? You have to be in regular contact with people. I'm going to show you guys actually in a minute how to be in contact with everybody you know regularly without it taking much time, which is pretty cool. Okay. But here's the principle that I want you to get. If I could get this to work, I'm really getting upset with it. We're just going to like leave it like, can you see it like that? Is that big enough? Okay. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. This is the big idea of today's call. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. I'm just going to give you guys a real quick example of how this works. How many of you, let me put you guys on gallery. Ha! Everybody who's not got their camera on is busted. Now I can see everybody's. Okay. How many of you guys have ever received a great card from somebody? You know, like with a handwritten message, maybe a spouse or somebody that you love, and that card, that message really moved you emotionally. Like, anyone ever get a card like that? How many of you guys are married or in a significant relationship? Hopefully it's the same hands or somebody's in trouble tonight, right? Okay, so when you get a card like that, and it's just amazing, right? Isn't it amazing how just reading a message like that can really move you? You guys get like the tears and I do. I'm a total sucker for that. My wife calls me a big baby, but I love it. Okay, when you get a card like that and you read it, after you've had that emotional response, then what do? Just crumble it up and throw it in the trash? How many of you guys throw them away after reading them? Anyone? How many save them in a special place? You have like a special drawer or box, like a pretty, how many of you guys have gone to the extent of the place you put them is pretty? Okay, yeah. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? Now, here's the other thing that I think is cool about this. Not only are we unable to throw these away ourselves, but a lot of times when someone passes away, what's treasured most? The cards and letters that are left behind, right? The personal correspondence. Sometimes they're generational. For generations, they're kept. They're so valuable. Now, let me ask you another question. How many of you guys have ever received one of these things? This is a happy birthday postcard. You ever get one of these? This one is from my insurance salesman. I also get these from my dentist. Jenny, I know you relate to that one. Did you ever have to send these out for the dentist? Okay, so anyways, so it's nice. Do you guys ever get one of these from somebody like that? My dog gets one from the vet also. Happy birthday. It's never quite right. I don't know why vets never quite get the birthday right, but anyway. Okay, when you get this is a postcard. It looks like it's handwritten, by the way, but it's not. It's not handwritten. It's a font that looks like handwriting. How many of you guys put this in a special place? No way, right? This goes in the trash. Any problem throwing away the postcards? Anyone? Why does this have no value and the other one is a priceless heirloom that we keep? This has no value because it took no time. This took no time. No investment of time means it's not worth anything. Now, I mean, it had a small amount of value in that for a quick second, for about 1 second, I said, oh, that was nice. And I thought about my insurance salesman. But the handwritten note, because it took an investment of time, the most valuable thing that we have means so much, right? Are you able to play with Facebook Messenger while you're writing somebody a beautiful note in a card? No, it's undivided attention even. It's so valuable. Now, here's what I want you guys to get from this. Not that you need to be handwriting notes to everybody all the time. However, it's definitely something you want to do in your business when possible, right? Is handwrite notes, because people will keep them forever. But even just sending somebody a one-on-one message via Facebook Messenger or text message can make their day in a huge way. Again, I'm going to show you guys how to do that in a second in Teamzy. But it is so much more effective and actually takes less time than coming up with a great post to attract 3 people when you could, in 15 minutes, message 20 people. And I'll show you guys. Now, you should still do great posts. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying that you can leverage your time unbelievably and connect with people one-on-one and make an impact in their day. Does that make sense? Okay, wait. I think I have one more slide and we'll jump into Teamzy, real time. Okay. So what you need is a system. You got to have a system to this, guys. You have to have a way to stay in contact with all your relationships. You need to know when to contact them. In other words, I don't want you spending all day trying to plan your day. You should just know and know what to say. So you can start a conversation with somebody without spending all day thinking about the perfect message. How many of you guys get stuck in analysis paralysis thinking of the perfect message? Oh my gosh. I'm in a boot camp right now with 350 top leaders from 36 networks. And do you know how much stinking overthinking happens with that group too? So don't think because you're new you overthink. Everybody overthinks, okay? Don't worry about that. But I just want you to have something at your fingertips so you know what to say and you can get started. And then make sure that nobody ever falls through the cracks. Oh my goodness. So many people fall. How many of you guys have been in business long enough that you had somebody who was interested and then for whatever reason they weren't ready and you meant to stay in touch with them, but you didn't. And then they signed up on someone else's team. Anybody ever experienced that? How painful is that? Because you did all the work, right? You planted the seed, you got them thinking about it, you watered the seed, you fertilized it, put some sunlight on it. But when it was harvest time, you didn't have a system to make sure you were there that day. And it's brutal. You need a system so nobody ever falls through the cracks. Make sense? Cool. All right, let's go into Teamzy. Let me share that screen. Where is it? All right. So if you guys aren't already using Teamzy, I want you to know you can go get a 30-day free trial at teamzy.com. Okay. I am in the custom for ItWorks version right now that I'm going to be demonstrating to you guys tonight. So you'll see the drop down, you pick ItWorks, get a free trial. We don't ask for your credit card or anything. We don't want any of that. We just want you to love this system. Okay. You get full access for 30 days. If you don't create more than enough income using this in 30 days to pay for your subscription for the year, then you didn't use it right. Okay. But after today, you guys on this call, you're going to use it right. You're going to have a great experience with it. Okay. So get your 30-day free trial at teamzy.com if you haven't done that yet. Now, when you first log on to your free trial, it will bring you into the setup wizard, which helps you set this thing up. Now, you may not finish the setup wizard the first time you log in. And if you ever want to turn it on again, you just go right up here to the top right to this little wheel and you click setup wizard. Okay. All right. First thing you can do is you can sign up to get Facebook Messenger updates. That will help you during your free trial. We'll also send you tips via email, but we know you don't open those, so the Messenger is probably the best bet, right? How many of you guys have more than 100 emails from today that you haven't looked at and you probably will never open? Yep. 100 is really conservative, actually. All right, let's get in here. Welcome to Teamzy. 3 things we're going to do. We're going to set your income goal. Once you set an income goal, Teamzy will tell you what to do every day to achieve it. How cool is that? That way you can keep your focus small so you can build your business big. Have you guys ever heard that before? You have to keep your focus small to build your business big. We're going to create a powerful why so you know why you're working and so that you'll be less likely to quit the business. 1 out of 2 people quit the business the first year. Okay? We don't want that for you. And then we were going to help you import your contacts, get everything into Teamzy, get them ranked, organized, so everything's in one place, super organized. You won't be chasing around 3 different notepads. Anyone do that? Trying to maintain a spreadsheet, oh my gosh, that somebody gave you that's too complicated and you haven't updated it since 1982 or last week. Both are just as bad, right? None of that. It's all going to be in one place. It's going to be in the cloud so you can grab it on your phone. If you're running into somebody at soccer practice or t-ball or something, you can get on your phone and you can do it all in Teamzy. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's get started. First step is setting your income goal. So you're just going to have an empty box here. Now I'm going to put a number in here. This is the income level I'd like to be at 12 months from now. I'm going to put 150,000. Okay. Now, if you're, wait, is that too many zeros? That's a little too many zeros. I want this one. Okay. Just a little thing. How many of you guys are new and you don't really have a lot of income yet from your ItWorks business? So you're going to put the total amount you want to be earning a year from now. Okay. Now, if you've got a great business and you're earning good income already, I want you to put the difference. So if you're making $150,000 a year already in your ItWorks business, but your goal is to make $300,000 12 months from now, then what you're going to put in here is the 150, the difference. Does that make sense? Okay. Because I just went through this recently. We had a Juice Plus call and somebody was on the phone. We got a couple people on the phone and can't see their face. And she says, hey, I have a question for you, Eric. I just don't see how I can do this in an hour a day. I said, well, what's your income goal? She said $600,000. I said, well, that's a pretty big goal. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Is that a reasonable 12-month goal? I had no idea who I was talking to. So she was she was one of the top builders in their business. She says, well, yeah, I'm at 475 now. And I said, oh, okay, great. So your goal is 125. And she was like, oh, I can do that in 20 minutes. See the difference? So I don't want you guys that are already doing great, to kill yourself with a crazy number. Just do the difference. Okay, really cool. All right. Now I'm going to click continue. And now Teamzy is going to estimate how many people I need to connect with to do this. Now in this example, it's looking at 4,348 connects over the next 12 months. Okay, 4,348. How many of you guys think connecting with over 4,000 people is a lot? Right? Okay, but if you're going to eat an elephant, how do you do it? Do you know this one? One bite at a time. I'm going to go to the next page. It's going to break it down for me. Now check it out. On this breakdown page, first of all, it breaks it into 3 groups: my prospects, my customers, and my distributors. Okay? And then it breaks it down. Yeah, because we're going to talking to customers and distributors is just as important as prospecting. Okay? That's why we called it Teamzy. There's your first clue. It's called Teamzy. It's about building your team. Okay. Then we break it down monthly, weekly, and daily. So that huge number, 4,348, is now connect with 9 prospects every day, 6 customers every day, and 4 distributors each day. Okay, that's 19 people. 19 may still sound like a lot, but that is 15 minutes work in Teamzy. I'll show you guys in a second. Okay. Now you can change these numbers to anything you like. This is just a suggestion. Let's say you're brand new and you have no distributors. You can make that one a 0 and just move the 4 over to prospects. Okay. And you have no customers. Great. Same thing. Okay. You put them all on prospects to start. Are you with me? You can change these numbers to whatever you like. Now I'm going to move that one to 10 just because I like it to be an even 20. I'm just an even number kind of guy. 10 plus 6 plus 4 is 20. That's 20. I can handle that. Okay. You with me? So these are connects. A connect is simply reaching out to say hello. It's not an invite. It's not a cold invite. It's not an attempt to sell. It's not an attempt to recruit. It's just a hello. How are you? My goal is to make your day, to make you smile, and hopefully start a conversation. That's it. Okay? So what we will be doing is we will be building the relationship, not violating trust. Make sense? Now down here, you've got a couple other goals. One is invites. That defaults to 3 a day, okay, which is a good number. It'll actually be a little hard at first to get to 3. It'll probably take you about 3 weeks of using Teamzy before you fill those conversations up to where you're inviting 3 consistently. This is where we actually invite somebody to learn about our business, to jump on an opportunity call, a 3-way call, to come to an event, to try a product, okay? And the goal is only 3 out of 20 conversations because we are going to generate interest first before we invite. Make sense? Okay. And then ads, these are new people, either people you haven't thought of yet that you know that aren't on your list, or people you're meeting. But the goal is always to be putting fresh water into your business. Always be looking for new people that you can meet and add to your business. Make sense? Okay. By the way, a little side note, ladies, because we just had a whole thread on this in boot camp today. Don't let the desire to get that 100% you crushed it on your Teamzy dashboard make you take friend requests from skeezy guys. Okay? You don't need to get your 100% Teamzy that bad. Okay. You with me? All right. So once you have these numbers wherever you want them, you click continue. Now that will set your dashboard up in Teamzy to your specific goals. Okay? I love these little things on my face. The sun is setting here in San Diego right now, and my office window, which is awesome, faces west. So I'm up on the hills I'm about 15 miles from the beach, but I can see it. And so it's super bright. Anyways, it's kind of cool. Anyways, here we go. Y power next. Finding your Y power. This is so important. The truth is this, I'll be honest with you guys. From a software standpoint, this next piece I'm going to show you absolutely adds nothing to the software of Teamzy. But we didn't build Teamzy just to sell software. We built it to really change this industry and help you guys be successful. You need to understand your why if you're going to make it in this business. 1 out of 2 people quits in their first year, and the numbers just go up from there. People quit all the time. Why do you think people quit the business? Let's be honest. How many of you guys have thought about it at some point or another? Yeah. And here's the thing you guys need to understand is that you're not going to like this, we are quitters. It's the truth. I'm sorry. We are. How many things have we quit in our life? We are designed to protect ourselves from danger, from scary things, from threats, and to stay safe. True? And a lot of times it's not a conscious thing, it's a subconscious thing. We'll talk more about that later in this call, about the subconscious mind, how it protects us. But we quit. That's by default. Now, we also sometimes persevere and do something awesome in our lives, don't we? How many of you guys have that memory, that muscle memory of success? You've done something, you've persevered. The only time we do that is when there's a good reason to. You need a reason to. Now, here's the cool thing. How many of you guys have heard about this? Like, I need your why, I got to get my why written down, all that. I'm going to demystify it for you. You don't need to go to Sedona and sit in a sweat lodge to find out your why. Okay? You don't. You already know it. It's in your heart. We're just going to ask a couple questions, get you thinking about it to pull it out. Okay? Now, we've boiled this down to 5 questions. They're in Teamzy, and you just go through this process with yourself. And also, I recommend you lead your teammates through it to figure out the first kind of why. And each year you redo it, you get a little deeper. Make sense? Now, I'm going to take you through and share my story as an example. We talked in the very beginning that I originally, at one time, was a Beachbody coach. And so I'm going to share kind of how I got started there. So here's the first question. Why did you become a distributor? So in my case, I lost 60 pounds in about 100 days. It was crazy, right? And people were like, oh my gosh, what happened? What are you doing? And I would tell them all day long. People were, I don't know. I think probably I sent 300 people to Beachbody before I became a distributor for them. My wife finally just kind of smacked me in the head and said, why don't you become a distributor? You're sending people there all day long. You could just be sending them your link. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I signed up because I liked the products and I was already referring people to it. How many of you guys, that's kind of how you got into the business? You really liked the products. You were already talking about them, so you might as well get paid for it. Yeah, that's why I did it. I had no idea that I wanted to change the industry and change the heart and do all the things that I'm doing now at that point. I just wanted to make an extra buck. What did you hope to accomplish? Next question. I wanted to earn $500 a month extra money. That was it. That was my goal. How many of you guys can relate to that? $500 a month extra money. That's all I wanted. Big deal. And I asked my sponsor, could I do that? And he said, yeah, I totally think you could do that, which was great. I made $500 my first week and I was hooked. Why is that important to you? Next question. Why is it important to you? I wanted to save the $500 a month. That's why I wanted to earn it. I just wanted to put it in the bank. How many of you guys, listen, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but I know a lot of us experience this. How many of you guys wish you were able to save some money, but you're just not able to? So here's where I was. I actually teach people how to budget and get control of their finances because I was such a total mess. I declared bankruptcy at age 21. Bad advice. I had bad advice from everybody I knew. Finally, I met somebody who was a multimillionaire. He said, I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to get rich slow is the way he taught me. Get rich slow. And ever since then, it changed my life. And I've always been teaching the same thing. So I'm somebody who's very disciplined with my money. And I told you guys that I was in the industry of coaching people, building their business, right? That was my job. And primarily I worked with real estate people. And that business was amazing. I mean, the real estate market just kept going up and up and up and up and up. In California, every single person was a real estate agent. Everybody. You know how everybody drives an Uber now? It used to be everybody was a real estate agent. And it was like, if you could just sell a house, you'd make $30,000. And so everybody was just trying to sell one, type thing. And we were coaching people to be successful. Business was growing. And then what happened? Do you guys remember the Great Recession? How many of you guys were like, that was brutal, wasn't it? The real estate industry disappeared overnight and was gone for over a year, completely gone from this country for a year. There was no income from real estate. Our business just started going downhill so fast. And eventually I was laid off along with most of my company. And here I was in the midst of the biggest recession of our adult lives. I had no idea what else I would do with my life income-wise. And I was the sole breadwinner for my company, for my family, I should say. And everyone else was out of work too. It was so scary. Anybody experienced that during the Great Recession? It was scary. Okay, so that's not the story I'm going to tell today. By God's good grace, I found work and we made it through the recession. by our fingernails, just by our fingernails. But in that process, we used our savings and we stopped saving. We went paycheck to paycheck at that point. Now, as the recession got a little bit less bad, I guess you should say, real estate started coming back. I was able to get back into my old industry, eventually to even my old company, and I was successful again. In fact, more successful than I was in the past. But here's the thing, still wasn't able to save a penny. How does that work? How can you be more successful than you used to be when you saved and not be able to save? Isn't it funny how that works? We weren't able to save a penny. It had been almost 7 years. When I got into network marketing, it had been almost 7 years. We had not saved a penny. We were living paycheck to paycheck, just barely making it. Can anyone relate to that? And here I was at my job, respected. I had this big office on the corner with the ocean view, giant whiteboard. That's my measure of success, by the way. How big is the whiteboard? I love whiteboarding. And yet I wasn't able to save a penny. And so here I just wanted to save $500 a month. I tell you that story just so you guys know, if somebody comes to you and says, I just want to save $500 a month, maybe there might be a big reason for that. You want to dig into that emotion, because that emotion will drive them. So I wanted to save because we hadn't been, and I just felt like I needed to. Now let me get to the next question. You ready? The next question is, why is that important to you? I'm sorry. No, I already answered that one. What would achieving this mean for you and your family? What would achieving this mean for you and your family? In other words, why do you want to, what would you do with the $500 you're saving? Here's what I thought. Boom. I'll buy a new house for my family. I want to buy a new house for my family. We were in a small home. We have 4 kids. We had, at the time, we had 2 140-pound dogs. And everywhere you went was dogs, kids, toys, and laundry. Who else can relate to that? There was nowhere to go. We were in a small house. We were just on top of each other. But yet we were upside down on our mortgage because of the recession. We owed way more money on our house than we could get selling for it. And so I just dreamt of buying a new home for my family with a little more space, a little more room to grow. And many of you guys, that's the dream of yours, a new home for your family. So in 5 minutes, I've gone from, okay, I guess I'll sign up and do the business too. Wow, I'm visualizing myself in a new house. I'm getting excited. Okay. Then I come to this last question. Why is that meaningful? How does this make you feel? Why is that meaningful? How does this make you feel? And guys, this process for you is just designed to help you think your way through this. I had to think about the fact, is buying a home a meaningful goal? Is it a meaningful goal? Or is it shallow? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think as I thought about this and tried to figure out if it was meaningful, how does it make me feel? Here's what I realized. It was symbolic. The home symbolizes family, right? And I wanted a new house, but what was really going on was the thought that I didn't allow myself to think because it hurt too much, which was this. I wasn't here for my family. Now, I thought I was being a great dad and a great husband by going out and working my butt off and providing for the family, but I wasn't present. I got up every morning before the sun came up. I kissed my kids goodbye. They were still in their pajamas. I went to work. I worked. Came home. They were already done for their dinner. They were in the bathtub getting ready for bed. That was my job. Good morning, good night. My son at the time, he was 5 when this kind of aha moment happened. He never called me daddy. He always called me mom or grandma, or he called me by the name of his kindergarten teacher. He would get to daddy after apologizing a couple of times. I mean, that's the parent's job to mess up the kids' names, right? Not the other way around. But it was like a little knife in the heart every time. And I thought, I'm just going to miss it. I'm going to miss the whole childhood. I never get to be with my wife, an hour a day, come home and exhausted. We spend an hour a day after the kids go to bed. This is not what I wanted for my life. And here I was successful at the top of my career. There was actually at this point nowhere for me to grow in my career. And yet we weren't able to save a penny. How many of you guys feel like there's nowhere for you to grow in your career, but you're not where you wanted to be? Something happened, guys, as I was thinking about this. These 4 questions brought me to this aha moment. Here's what I realized. The network marketing opportunity, the sky was the limit there. How many of you guys believe that? There's a couple people on this call who are living proof. They're not even at the sky, but they're a little higher up. They're a little higher up into the clouds than some of you guys. They're just leading the way for you. The network marketing opportunity was my opportunity to create the life I always wanted. And instead of it being extra money, which it was 5 minutes ago, I suddenly realized this. My 6-figure plus salary That was extra money. Those fools are going to pay me that salary to build my network marketing business. That's what I thought. I'm going to leverage that time I have there to create my business momentum. It was a switch. It just flipped. And then the side hustle became the main hustle. And even though I only spent an hour a day on it, the focus was there. The heart was there because I knew this was the way to everything I wanted. This is why you need to go through the My Why process. As long as your business is a side hustle, as long as your business is extra, it's easy to get rid of. When you figure out what's important in your life and you put it in front of you every day, you'll get out of your own way and get your stuff done. Does that make sense? Now, I'm going to share with you guys the why statement I wrote then. It's kind of like the sample text on Teamzy for all of you to look at. They were like, give me an example when we set up this software. And so I go, well, here's mine. Here's what I wrote. This is word for word what I wrote that day. To create my why, to create a life where I never have to worry about money again. I enjoy quality time with my family, and I'm present for my children on a daily basis. I'm healthy and full of energy. Pretty good life, right? I had no idea how I was going to make that happen when I wrote it down. I just knew that's why I wanted to work on it. Does that make sense? Now I look at that statement, and I am so blessed that that is just like a Tuesday afternoon in my life. Okay? The same can be true of you guys. But once I wrote this why down, by the way, whatever you put in this last box, your why, when you click continue, it's going to publish to the dashboard of Teamzy, and it'll be there every day for you to read. I recommend out loud to yourself before you do your power hour. Okay? Now, what happens when that why is in front of you is very powerful. Do you think there were days I did not feel like doing my power hour? How many of you guys sometimes feel that way? Absolutely. Do you think it's a lot harder to not just get an hour's work done when you look at that why in front of you? It's very motivating. If you take that why and publish it publicly, like on your team page, hey everyone, here's my why. Now try skipping your power hour, right? Look your kids in the face if they're part of your why and say, I love you, but you're not important enough for me to get out of my way today for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It's brutal. Now, here's what happened to me. I wrote this why, and I was like, man, I'm going for this. I can do this. I went and I decided I'm going to come home and start building my business, but I had nowhere to build it. I told you guys, we had no room, right? So I went to Home Depot. I bought one of those sheds they have out in the parking lot. Have you guys walked past those sheds on the way inside Home Depot? I got one of those sheds and had it dropped in my backyard on the dirt. It was not insulated or anything. It was one of those like tool sheds. I had them drop it in the dirt. I ran an extension cord to it. I built a desk out of an old door and a pallet. I put my Mac out there with a fan and a light, and I started building my business. Within 3 months, I left my corporate career, and I was building my business full-time in the shed quarters, as we called it. Freezing or sweating, no in between. For a year, I worked in that shed. Eventually, I did insulate it and stuff, trying to make it somewhat comfortable. It was brutal, though. But you know what? The why propelled me. It gave me a reason. It gave me a motivation daily. And you don't need huge motivation. You don't need the kind of motivation to climb Mount Everest. You need the motivation to get out of bed today. That's it. Just a little bit. Does that make sense? Don't skip the my why portion. It is so important, and lead your teammates through it. Do it together. I know you guys are like, when is he going to show me the power hour stuff? I'm passionate about this stuff. Okay. So I want you guys to do it. All right, let's get back in here and finish this off. So when I click continue on this, it's going to save my why, which is gibberish, but you get the idea, to my dashboard. Okay. Last step to Teamzy is we're going to get your contacts imported. Okay. So they're all in one place, organized. If you've already been building the business, the first list that you want to get in is your team, right? Your first level people, guys, is really all you need to get in here to get started. Get your first level people imported in first. Then I want you to get your customer list imported, okay? Then the next list that you want to get is your Facebook list. There's some videos here to help, and there's even more on our Help Center page in Teamzy, okay? The good news is Facebook, because they got in trouble recently with Congress, Facebook just made the export process of your friends list 100 times easier than it was 2 weeks ago. So I'm super excited about it because now you can get it done instantly. It used to just be a process. Now it's very easy to do, which is cool. How cool is it to get your Facebook friends list in one place so you're not like cherry picking through Facebook Messenger trying to remember who you connected with? This is a system so people can't fall through the cracks, right? Anywhere else you have contacts, you can also get those in, get everything in here all in one place. All right, so let's skip that. There's one more step for setup that we need to do before we do our power hour. I'm going to go to the team page here. So here's my menu on the left. We're on the dashboard now. I'm going to go to the team page. That's where all your list lives, where everybody lives, right? It's like your CRM page. See, everybody's there. And when you first do an import, like a bulk import, it's going to drop you on this page and it'll be in rank mode. It looks like this. I'm going to turn it on from this little menu, rank mode. Rank mode lets you go down your list and rank them on a 5-star scale, each person. You'll notice that everybody's already a 3 because that's where they default to. You guys know how this works, right? How many of you guys are used to rating things on a 5-star scale? Yeah, well, now you're going to rate people on a 5-star scale. This is important, okay? This is how you never have to do any planning for your power hour. Teamzy's going to take your star rankings and it's going to create your daily list for you. You don't have to think about it. It's just going to tell you, here's who to connect with today. Make sense? Now, let me explain to you what these ratings mean, and then we'll crush our power hour together. A 5-star is somebody most likely to become a customer or a distributor, or they're an existing customer distributor that's a rock star. Okay? Please don't message me and ask for the definition of rock star. It's an emotion. You love these people. They're going to show up on your list to connect with every 30 days. Connect. Remember, just connect. Just to say hi, have a great conversation, let them know you love them. Every 30 days. 4 stars, there's somebody likely to become a customer or a distributor with a little nurturing. Okay? Or they're your solid people on your team. They're going to show up on your list every 60 days. Okay? 3 stars could go either way. That's why we default to 3. They could go either way. Most people on your list will be a 3-star, and they're going to show up every 90 days. Okay? Every 90 days, they're going to cycle back, which is cool because if you talk to somebody today, they're not interested in really going deep with you. Great. They come back on your list 90 days from now, you connect again. Each time they get warmer. Does that make sense? A 2-star is getting colder. They come up every 120 days. And then 1-star people, they're the people that you kind of want to keep their contact info, but you set kind of on the side. They're never coming up in your power hour, right? That's like your grandma who's on an automatic delivery and she just does it because she loves you and she'll buy whatever you tell her. How many of you guys have your grandma getting some good products? Yeah, it's important, right? Yeah, totally. Hey, if you've got stuff that makes people healthy, every single one of your customers needs to be getting it for their parents. That's an easy, look, I just gave you a tip. That's how you double your volume, guys, is you got to get all of your adult customers to start buying it for their elderly parents. Okay. I saw somebody write that down. I'm like, oh, that's a good tip. Hey, it's love. All right. So once you get the ranking done and you just go down the list and you just click, right? Boom. Everyone's a 3. Maury, he's a 1. I don't like him, right? Or Eden, I'm going to delete him because I just definitely, I just take him off my list, whatever. You get the idea. These aren't real people, so don't feel bad. These are fake names. All right. So once you get your list set up and ranked, okay, now if you have a huge list, by the way, people always send me this and they go, I have a huge list, Eric. My Facebook list is so awesome. I have 5,000 friends. I'm maxed out and I'm overwhelmed by this step. I say, that is a good problem to have. How many of you guys having too many relationships think is a tough thing? It's a good problem to have. Just go through the list and cherry pick the 4s and 5s. That's all. Get your best people at the top of the list, okay? All right. Now we're ready to crush our power hour together. Let me take you through this workflow. Really quick, here's your dashboard, right? Today's activities, these are the goals we set and set up. Look, there's my goal to connect with 10 prospects, 6 customers, 4 distributors, 3 invites, 3 ads, okay? Right now, they're all 0s except for ads. I added a couple people. Okay. And this is at 8%. We want to get this to 100%, and it'll change to you crushed it. And everyone loves getting the you crushed it. I'll show you guys how that looks at the end. All right. So right here is your power hour, okay? See where it says power hour, the up next list? This is where we do our work. Now you'll notice on the left side are my lists. There are 4 lists: prospects, customers, distributors, and my follow-ups list. Okay, there's 4 lists. The lists show me 5 people at a time on purpose, so I can't get overwhelmed by the fact there's 5,000 people on that list, right? It only gives me 5 at a time. Keeps me focused. If I had 40 people, I might start with number 19. I want you just to start with the next, who's up next. Just be disciplined and just message. Just go for it. If somebody's on there that you don't want to message because you don't like them or they're creepy, you should delete them. They shouldn't be on your list. Make sense? Okay. All right. On this side is where we log our activity. So this is where we're going to get the see who's up next, and this is where we're going to log our conversation with them. So it's tracked as we go. Make sense? Now, first person on my list is Jenny. Jenny dropped off of my visual, so I can't see her. You know, I can only see 6 of you at a time. Let's see. Let me find her. There she is. Okay, good. Look, she's still there. Hi, Jenny. First person on my list is Jenny. So now I'm going to message Jenny. Now, here's the thing. The name may come up, and I may have never messaged her before. Has that ever happened to you guys? And I have no idea what I'm going to say to her. And this is where you get stuck trying to think, well, how do I start a conversation with her? How do I do this? How do I not sound weird? Or how does this, this feels awkward or whatever. This is what I want you guys to do. I've already put scripts in here that are proven. These aren't scripts that I think are cool. These are scripts that have worked. They're not salesy, they're relational scripts. So right here where it says scripts on the bottom of that box, I'm going to click that. And I'm going to pick a script. Now I'm going to use Facebook Messenger to message Jenny, because Facebook Messenger, by the way, if you're not using that to message people, it's the best way to message people right now. The highest response rate of any communication system in the history of human civilization. Okay? You don't have to like Facebook, but Facebook Messenger gets the best results. So there we go. So look, I'm just going to grab this script. Look, I'm going to grab the first one here, connect one. This is what it says. Hi, Jane. Just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to copy that script. I just clicked copy script to do that. See how easy that is? All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it right here in my log box so that I can edit it a little before I send it to her. First of all, the name's not right? I got to change the name. Great. Maybe you want to put some emoticons in here. Maybe you want to change the words up a little bit. Maybe the silly emoticon's not the right emoticon. She'll think I'm weird, right? See, you can even overthink the emoticons. Don't overthink. Get it the way you want it. Good. There it is. Now it's ready. Okay. Now check this out. I'm just going to copy that. Now it's all ready to go. I'm going to go over to Facebook, which I have open in a separate tab, and actually send it. You can't send a message. Oh, look, she's already here. Haha. That's all right. I'll show you how to do it. You can't send a message through Teamzy. You have to go to Facebook. Facebook just doesn't allow anyone else to do that for them. It's really easy. Just look them up really quick. It only takes a second. Oh, I know a lot of Jennies. There she is. Okay, watch. I'm going to send this message to her. And just paste it because it's already saved up to my, what do you call that thing? The clipboard. Right? Now check it out. Send that. Boom. Now the message is sent. I'll pop back to Teamzy. And it's just going to log it. That was a Facebook message. Hit log connect. Now watch what happens when I log it. She's off my list. My list has moved up 1. And you can see now I have a 1 up on my dashboard. The next person is Jay. Check this out. I'm going to do the same thing. I still have it on my clipboard. I'm going to use the same script. This time I'm going to change the name to Jay. I've already got my emoticon in there. Do you guys see how quick and easy this is? It's so easy. This is how you could do, literally it takes a few seconds to do each person. Oh, you got to be able to type though, somewhat. There's Jay. I'm going to send her the message, okay? If you send people money, they're going to love you even faster, but your business might not grow as fast. So make sure you hit the send message. People ask me this all the time because they're so specific. You can also click on their name and hit message here, and that'll show you your record of conversation, okay? If you want to see that, no big deal. You can do that too and send it from there. Okay, so we sent that message to Jay. Now I'm going to log it. Facebook message, log connect. I got 2 done. Do you see how fast I can do this now? I just go down the list. You don't even have to change the script, though you could go find a different script if you want to. You could customize it if you want to. But I caution you guys about getting too creative because you don't want to slow down. The best thing to do is just get these messages out. The message is nice. It's friendly. It's going to get them to smile. And with luck, they'll respond. Now, typically, I would say my overall response rate for me, and I know this is true from all the people that talk to me through Teamzy, it's better than 50%. So that's pretty awesome. So in this case, that's going to be 5 prospect conversations I'll create every day on average, just by connecting with 10 people for 10 minutes. How cool is that? Now, when I'm done with my prospects list and I hit my goal for the day, which in this case is 10, I'll go over to my customers and I'll start connecting with my customers. The same thing, I'll go to Kathy. I'll go to scripts to get some ideas. Now, Teamzy knows we're on customers now. It's going to give me different scripts. Right, so here's a great one. Hi, John. How are you enjoying the products? Please send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. Look at this. I'm going to copy that script. Boom. I'm going to change it to Kathy. I just want you guys to see how easy this is. How are you enjoying your keto coffee? Send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. Are you with me? Do you see how easy that is? Now, a couple things. You're going to go down your list the same way. Send it in Facebook, log it here, right? And you're going to keep going down your list until you hit your goal, connecting with customers. This is so important. I don't have a lot of time to go into this, but you guys need to stay in touch with your customer. How many of you guys have customers that you haven't stayed in touch with as well as you would have liked to have? Okay. This is key. Now, how many of you guys are excited now that you see Teamzy? You know that you'll be able to stay in touch with your customers without crushing your life. Yes. Okay, good. 3 reasons why you need to be in touch with your customers. The first one is the reason why you already feel guilty about not staying in touch with them, because it's your duty as a business owner to take care of your customers, right? Yeah. The second reason, now these are win-win reasons, but the second reason to be in touch with your customer is if you are in regular contact with a customer, they will order more product. This is, anybody watch Game of Thrones? This is known. This is known. They will order more product if you're in touch with them. Now, here's the cool thing. It's better for them too, because they're excited to get more product. As they learn more, they're getting more benefit, right? But if you're in touch with your customers regularly, they will order more product. Some people get insecure and they think, well, if I'm in touch, they're going to cancel their recurring orders when they hear from me. No, some might, but that's okay. Or you'll have a chance to educate them before they do, and they end up ordering more, but they will order more. If you get your team on the 30-day free trial of Teamzy, which Jenny, by the way, is doing that right now. She's brilliant. How many of you think she's brilliant? And you guys all start connecting with your customers, you're going to all get more sales. And guess what happens to her team volume? I had people in Bootcamp 1 tell me that their team volume went up 40% the first 30 days of bootcamp because they were, but isn't that a win-win? Everybody wins. That's the kind of win we want to see, right? All right. Now, the third reason to be in touch with your customer is this. How many of you guys would like more customers? Yeah. Where's the best place to find a new customer? Anyone know? Your current customer is the best place to find a new customer. The hottest source of a new lead is your current customer. Think about it. What does somebody do when they love something? They talk about it. They rave about it. How many of you guys are raving fans for other products that don't pay you to be a raving fan for them? Yeah, that's what we do. That's how we're designed. This is how we were built to thrive as a society. This is good. This thing over here is good. Everybody try it, right? Your customers. How many of you guys have a customer, at least one that you know loves the products? Great. And that person right now has people ready to buy. Okay? I just want to hit you guys with that reality. They've been talking about it. They're excited about it. And they know people who are ready right now based on what they've been told to buy. So you need to be in touch. You need to be connecting with those best people and ask them if they know anybody who would benefit from learning more about ItWorks. Okay? And when they say, yeah, actually, I was just talking to Bob and Gina at work, you say, awesome. Could you introduce me to them, please? And I'll get them some more info. Just a little side note, and this is for Jenny. I know you're in boot camp. Is anyone else in here in the boot camp, or is it just you and this team? Okay. Jenny will teach. Jenny will share. She has permission to share some of these nuggets as they uncover. But later in boot camp, we'll spend a whole week going deep on that concept, getting introductions. But one thing that I teach you guys is this. Don't get referrals. Don't ask for referrals. Okay? Save your prayer time for quiet by yourself between you and God. Asking someone for referrals is a prayer because they're not going to remember to have your information with them when they, you know what I mean? Get them to introduce you. If they're thinking of somebody right now, who are you thinking about? Introduce them to me. Group text, group chat, group Facebook message, group email. Just introduce me to them and I'll get them the information. And then you get that person right away. You're able to help them and you're able to honor your friend or your customer who's introduced you. Make sense? So you got it. It starts with being in touch regularly with your customers, guys. That is step one. Just boom, staying in touch. One of my favorite scripts, and then I'm going to go on to the last bit here, is this one. Just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Send that to your 10 favorite customers tonight. See what happens. Okay? Just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Now, again, let's just be careful with some of these scripts if you're sending them to single dudes. We just went through this in boot camp with a few people. Use your discretion. Make sure that you do that in an appropriate way, but you get the idea. Okay. I hate that I even have to say that. Next, distributors. Last list. Connecting with your team is just as important as connecting with your prospects. And here's the thing. How many of you guys have 5 or 6 people or less and you're like, that's easy for me? Great. When your team gets to be hundreds and thousands of people, it will be more difficult. This is something that many top leaders in this industry just don't do. They feel like they can't. And they haven't found Teamzy yet. They don't feel like they can do this. And it is so crucial. Your team needs to hear from you the same way. Now look, if I'm talking to Maynard, I love that name. I go to scripts, and I just send him something like, hey, I'm proud of you. You did great. Hey, I saw your volume for the week. Great job. Just quick messages, quick text messages. It makes people's day. It is so important. That's why we called this Teamzy. And people will stay in this business more for the relationships and the family and the culture you create than for the income. Now, here's the cool thing. If you can stick people to this team because of the culture and the family that you build, and they become incredibly successful, right? Isn't that what we're after? Yes, but you have to create that environment for your team to thrive. And it starts with connecting with people. That's it. Remember what we said earlier. The only way to deepen a relationship is what? Investing time in connecting with someone, right? Okay, so now we've gone through all of our messages. And in our example, it was 20 people. It would have taken about 15 minutes if I wasn't talking, which took forever, right? And you're done. Now you've got one more list, follow-ups. But when I get there, look, it says there's no follow-ups scheduled. How do I get people on my follow-ups list? Let me show you how this works. So I've sent all these messages out. By the way, be disciplined. Don't answer the incoming messages till you're done sending all your messages, okay? Or you'll never get through it. But now maybe I've got some time a little later in the day blocked. I'm going to answer all these messages, and I'm starting to have conversations, right? And so I'm messaging back and forth with Jenny, and we're reconnecting. We haven't talked since 1990 whatever, and now we're catching up. And she's telling me about what she's doing and what the twins are up to, and I'm telling her what I'm doing and what my crazy kids are up to, and we're just having a conversation, right? And at some point in the conversation, it always turns to, well, what are you doing these days for work, right? And she tells me what she's doing. Great. And then what about you? And I tell her, well, what's pretty cool is, and I always, by the way, listen. I'm listening to her. I'm asking questions, listening, and I'm taking notes. If we're messaging back and forth, the notes are there. But I will often, if the conversation's going great, I'll say, let's catch up soon on a video call or a phone call and just catch up, right? So then I can ask her questions. And I'm listening for things that are happening in her life that are like unexpressed or expressed wants or needs, right? And then when she asks me about me, I'm going to go, oh my gosh, my life is so amazing. I haven't had a job in 3 years. You haven't had a job? No, I have my own business now. Oh my gosh, what do you do? And so now I'm going to tell her about my business and my life and how great it is, right? And you guys are going to be honest. Maybe you're not at that stage yet. I remember when I was brand new in the business, I would tell people, what's cool is I haven't had to, my business, it's an hour a day, but it's paid my mortgage now for 6 straight months. It wasn't like I was making me rich, but it was something that was like, that was pretty cool. And so I would just share, wow, that sounds great. And as I see that someone's a little bit interested in learning more and say, Jenny, the truth is if, you'd probably be great at this. You think so? Yeah. In fact, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about what I'm doing, my team is doing an event tonight. You can actually go in there kind of anonymously and watch. It's going to be on Facebook. I can email you the link in a second. And you can watch this. It's going to be a presentation about the business opportunity, and a few people will be sharing their stories. It's going to be pretty cool. Would you be interested in that? Yeah, actually, I'll check that out. Great. I'll send you that link in a second. And I tell you what I'll do, Jenny. I'll follow up tomorrow and then see if you have any questions. She says, okay, great. Awesome. Good. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. That's just an example, right? That's just an example. I'm having a conversation with her. Now it's gone somewhere and it's turned into an invite. So how do I do that in Teamzy? Well, what I'll do is I'll look her up here. Okay. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to log on Connect. I'm going to click Connect to open the Connect box on her record. And I'm going to log this as an invite. See where it says invite in the bottom left? So I'm going to take it off Connect, and this time I'm going to put it onto Opportunity Call. Okay? So now Teamzy knows this is not just a Connect. It's actually a special, it's an invite. All right. And let's say I'm going to send the email, and I just send, Opportunity call link. I emailed her that. Okay, great. Now, before I log this in Teamzy, I need to set the follow-up. This is the important part. And this is, now that I've invited her, I'm going to set it on my follow-ups list. See this follow-up button right here? I'm going to set her on my follow-up for tomorrow. If I don't do that, she won't come back for 30 days. You with me? Look, now when I log it, there's a follow-up on her record. Now, if I go to the dashboard, check this out. Now when I go to my follow-ups list, there she is. Okay? So when I do my power hour, I connect with prospects, customers, distributors, and then I go down my follow-ups list and message everybody I need to follow up with. Are you with me? Cool. Now, real quick, I know I've been talking a long time. Has this been helpful so far? I want to talk to you guys real quick about following up. You guys have heard that the fortune's in the follow-up. How many of you have heard that? Yes. Okay, great. I'm going to bring it to the next level for you. Did you guys know that 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and the 10th follow-up? Yes. Okay, cool. I see Ashley nodding her head. When you see her nodding her head, that means you should write it down for sure, right? If you see a couple people agreeing with me that are leaders, write it down. Okay, 7 to 10. How many of you guys follow up 10 times? Anyone? How many of you have done it a couple times? Let's be honest. Okay. Why not? 80% of all sales happen there. How come you don't do it? It's okay. You don't have to answer it. I know why. Because you don't want to be annoying. How many of you guys, that's your fear? Yeah. You don't want to be the icky salesperson, right? Okay. How many of you, let's just be honest, you're not organized enough to follow up that many times? Yeah, that's all of us, but that's okay. That's why you have Teamzy. I can't do that either without a system like this. Now you'll have Teamzy, don't worry. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to do it without being annoying. Okay, stay tuned. There's just 2 things to do to never be annoying. People will thank you for following up so much, right? Who's in for that? Okay, but before I do that, I want you to have a mind shift change, excuse me. Here's your mind shift. Because you're thinking of following up as something that's annoying. But you need to understand this. How many of you believe your products and your opportunity can be life-changing? I hope that everybody here puts your hand up. Now, how many of you, that excites you to be the person who changes lives? Or are you just here because it's a good opportunity to make money? No? You're here because you want to change lives. Okay. How many people has ItWorks changed? How many lives has ItWorks changed for people who didn't purchase anything? None, right? So here's what I want you guys to understand. If 80% of people won't purchase until they've been followed up 7 to 10 times, and you want to change lives, the products don't even matter at this point. The only thing that you can do to help change their life is follow up. Following up is an act of love. You want to change lives? You follow up. Following up is how you love people. Following up is an act of love. Write it down, put it on a sticky note, put it on the corner of your computer screen, and remind yourself, following up is an act of love. That's your mindset shift. Following up is an act of love. Now, I'm going to teach you how to not be annoying. Are you ready? Oh, on the flip side of that is this. If you don't follow up, here's what you communicate. I don't care enough about you to follow up. I followed up 3 times. Girl, you didn't get it. Forget you. I'm on to the next. I don't care enough about you. How many of you guys, after 3 follow-ups, are like, that jerk didn't respond or anything? I can't believe it. Next, right? I'm going to explain to you guys why we don't do that. And I want you guys to know that all the stories that you made up for why they didn't respond are made up. Okay, but first I'm going to teach you how to not be annoying. There's 2 principles. You ready? Principle 1, never ask someone to do anything in your follow-up. Never ask someone to do anything in your follow-up. No homework. Don't say, call me back. Don't ask them to message you back, to respond, to RSVP, to complete their purchase, to commit already. Don't ask them to do anything in their follow-up. Okay? And I don't care if you've been told you have to do that. That is definitely annoying. Right? How many of you guys agree with that? I'm just looking, but Crystal, I see you in the middle of my screen. Crystal Bedingfield. Crystal, I call you up on the phone and I leave you this voicemail. First of all, I called you and left you a voicemail. You're already annoyed, right? Because I called out, Crystal, it's Eric. Call me back, please. I need to talk to you. Isn't that the worst message ever? First of all, why are you calling me? Why don't you just text me what you need so make it easy on me? I hate Eric. Why did you do that to me? Okay, just an extreme example. Don't ask them to do anything, okay? That's the first step. Especially don't ask them to call you back or message you back. Number 2 principle for never being annoying is this. Your message needs to be in texted out format, not voice format. And it needs to be short, right? Ideally messenger or text. Why does it need to be short and written? You want them to see it without opening it. There's a couple things here. First, they're not going to respond to you anyways. So they don't want to open it. You guys do this, right? I don't want to open it because as soon as I open it, now she knows I've seen it and I have to respond or I feel like a jerk. They're not going to respond. But you still want them to read it. So that's why you do it text message or messenger and you keep it short enough that they can see it on the screen of their lock screen without opening it. Now I'm going to explain. You guys got those 2 principles? Follow those and you won't be annoying. You can follow up a million times and people will thank you for it because they'll think you're awesome. Now, I just want to show you how to do it in Teamzy, and then I'm going to teach you guys why it takes so many follow-ups to get people to buy. It's a psychology thing. All right, let's go into Teamzy real quick. This is so easy. We've made this super easy. So now when you're doing your power hour and I get to my follow-ups list and there's Jenny, the way I'm going to do it is the exact same way I did just a regular connect. I'm going to go to scripts, okay? But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my follow-up scripts. Now look at this, follow-up number 1. I just want you guys to know that my 10 follow-up scripts that I've used thousands of times at work that are relational, that follow these rules, are in here for you. Okay, you can just use them. Here's number 1. Hi, Jenny, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Do you see how that's worded? Now, I'm going to do it the same way I did the other one. I'm going to copy that script. I'm going to go into Teamzy. I'm going to edit it up, change the name. Okay, ready to go. It's ready to go. I'm just going to send it to her. Bam, send her that message. Cool? See how easy that was? Now watch this real quick. When I log this in Teamzy, guys, this is really important. Make sure you're paying attention. I got to set the next follow-up before I log it. I'm going to set it again for tomorrow. I usually follow up 3 days in a row, and then I'll space it out a little bit. But now I've set her on my follow-ups list again, and I log it. That way, she's on my list again for tomorrow. Now, you guys saw how easy that was, right? So when you do your power hour, you connect with your prospects, your customers, your distributors. As you're having conversations and you invite people, then you put them on your follow-ups list, and then you'll go work your follow-ups list. Now, let me explain to you guys really quick why Jenny's not responding to my follow-ups. How many of you guys are shocked at how few people respond to your follow-ups? It's shocking, right? How many of you guys would say, like, you felt like before this call, if you followed up 3-4 times, you're doing pretty well? Okay, so here's the thing. The vast majority of people will not respond at all to the first 5 or 6 follow-ups. No response, crickets. How many of you guys have experienced the crickets and it sucked the life out of you? So here's what happens. I send this message off to Jenny, that nice little message you just saw. She picks up her phone. She goes, oh. Now for a split second, I have her. She remembers how excited she was when she talked to me. She remembers how excited she was when she was on the opportunity call. And then what happens? Her subconscious mind, which is there to protect her from the scary, the different, the change, the unstable things in life, kicks in to protect her. Now, how many of you guys have heard that 85% of everything you do comes out of your subconscious mind? Have you guys heard that before? If you're not aware of it, you need to become aware of it because it is literally running your life. How many of you have ever driven home from somewhere, pulled into your driveway or your garage and thought, how the heck did I do that? I don't even remember driving home. Has that happened to you guys? And you somehow put your makeup on and ate dinner while doing it, right? Your subconscious mind can literally drive your car. It takes care of everything. It's designed to protect you, to keep you safe, to bring order to the chaotic world around us, and to keep our mind from getting overwhelmed by everything that's happening. It also protects you from things that could be good for you because they look scary. So what happens is she gets that message from me. For a split second, she reconnects to that hope, and then her subconscious mind sees it as a threat and distracts her and says, Jenny, over there, the baby just threw up on the dog. And she's like, oh, the baby just threw up on the dog. Puts the phone down. She never opened that message, by the way. It was just on the lock screen. She goes and handles the crisis. Boom, forgets all about me. Next day, and I'm going, why didn't she respond? Jerk, she was so excited yesterday. Next day, she comes up on the follow-ups list, boom. Now, notice one thing I want you to know. In Teamzy, I'm spending 5 seconds a day on her. I'm not letting her occupy space in my head. I'm just moving through my list. Now, next day, I send her a nice message, boom, sends out to her. Same thing. She picks up her phone. Ah, yes. Split second, I have her. She's excited. She feels good. And what happens? It's dinner time. Can't respond right now. It's dinner time. I got to feed all these dang kids. They're screaming all over, puts her phone down and handles it. Third day, same thing. Something comes up. Here's the thing. I know this is happening. I'm not creating stories in my head about how she's cheap or broke or her husband's overbearing or she doesn't respect my time or maybe I offended her. Let me reread my last 18 Facebook messages to her to see if I offended her. Oh, she probably misunderstood that emoticon with the straight face. I thought that was this tired face, but somebody told me that was the I don't like you face. And maybe you guys do this stuff, right? She's not responding because she's distracted by her subconscious who's protecting her. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. It's not because of you or your relationship with that person. That's 80% of all sales across the entire human race. Okay? So I'm just going to keep sending her these great messages, following the rules, and here's what happens. Around 5 or 6, she sees like every day or every other day, or however often I'm doing it, she's getting these moments where, she's, oh, that was nice, but she doesn't have time for it. So around 5 or 6 times in, she responds usually and says, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you for following up with me. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I haven't responded. Here is first the baby threw up on the dog. Then, right, and they start telling you all the things that have happened in their life that have kept them from responding. Why is she suddenly able to respond? Here's what happens psychologically. Their subconscious, which is trying to protect her, starts to look at your messages and go, well, so far nothing bad has happened. And every time she gets one of those, the endorphins, and she actually seems happy for a moment. So maybe Eric's not so scary. And what happens is it literally goes into looking for some other threat and stops seeing you as a threat. This is why 80% of all sales happen between 7 and 10 follow-ups, because that person has followed up enough that the subconscious has gotten used to you. This is why I say following up is an act of love, because you have to help people through this. You could have the most honest to goodness, excited person, sincere. They still can't get started until they get through this process. Does that make sense? Now, functionally, super easy. Boom, go down your follow-ups list, send the next message, next. Okay? From their end, they see somebody who's incredibly caring and consistent. Remember we talked about that in the beginning. You just follow up like a pro. Now, what happens after about 10 follow-ups? I look, Jenny's joined my team. By the way, if Jenny's not ready to join my team after 10 follow-ups, I just put her back in the Teamzy flow. She'll come back on my list in a month or so down the road. I'll connect with her again, say, hey, it's been a while since we connected. What are you up to? And I'll just start the conversation from scratch again. This is how she won't fall through the cracks. When I plant the seed with somebody, guess what? When you plant the seed with somebody, it's going to take root at some point. You got to stay present, right? But let's say she does join the team. Here's how we finish her off. Well, not finish her off, but here's how we transition her in the in the system. I'll look her up again, right? That brings me to her contact record. This time I'm going to log the sale. I'm going to log that she got her builder kit, okay? And I'm just going to save that. Now Teamzy knows that all of that work resulted in the sale. Now I'm going to change the member type here from prospect to distributor and then personally enrolled. Boom. Now she's on my distributors list, not my prospects list, and I'll continue connecting with her there. Cool? And that's how you do it. That's how you work through a Teamzy Power Hour. And you guys can see how easy it would be to connect with 20 people a day and get it done, right? Okay. Wow, I've been talking a long time. Sorry. What questions do you guys have for me? If you have a question, just unmute and ask away. I know I give you a lot of info. It's like sucking water out of a fire hose, right? Any questions? I'm just going to peek at the... Ashley said that she took 36 months to sign up. How many of you guys would have liked to have gotten her on your team? It's a long play, right?
I ignored for 36 months, even better.
I
triple diamond in 4 months, so it was a huge bonus to her.
That's nice.
I have something that I want to ask you about, Annie, that you see on here. And I were talking today about something that I had run into today. And for a couple of days, life was crazy, and she didn't get to pull up her Teamzy in work. And when she pulled it up, there was like 76 follow-ups. And she's like, whoa. So I think she and I were kind of doing the same thing where we were setting too many follow-ups.
Yep.
Like one of the trainings that I had listened to said, set the follow-up for the next day. So I was always setting it for the next day for like everything that I did. But what I hear you saying tonight is like you're really only setting a follow-up when you enter into a conversation with someone or invite them to something, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's
Did that help at all, Annie, what you heard tonight? It helped me.
so if you're so look, I mean, your goal is 3 follow-ups a day. If you're actually putting 3 people on your goal is to invite 3 people a day. So if you're inviting 3 people a day and putting on your follow-up lists, you're like amazing. Like you're cranking. Okay. So that's only 15 a week. Okay. So if I message you and say, you know, hey, how are you? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm not putting you on my follow-ups list. You're in my Teamzy list, which means if you don't respond, you'll come back up whenever you're based on your star ranking. You'll come up in 30, 60, or 90 days again. If you don't respond at all, I don't care. You're going to come up again in 30, 60, 90 days. If you do respond and we have a little back and forth and it goes nowhere, I'm still not sending a follow-up. I'm just going to talk to you again in 30, 60 days when you come back on my list. If the conversation leads somewhere and I'm able to lead you to be interested in learning more about the business, now I'm going to follow up. I'm going to put you on my follow-ups list. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, let me just share a story with you guys. So, you know, I had an unfair advantage because before we built Teamzy, I already knew this system. We've been building the system with note cards and assistants for 20 years in the real estate industry. I mean, we didn't have a software to do it for us, but I used to tell people to hire an assistant and have them make note cards and put 5 of them on their desk. Right? Aren't you guys glad you don't have to do that? Some of you guys would like that. But anyways, I knew that the power was in sending the message. Even if they didn't respond, they still get the message. Now, one of the things, just a little side note, I love Facebook Messenger because even if they don't respond, they often will click and look at your profile. Mm-hmm. So they feel like they've interacted with you and your family and your kids and your business, even though they haven't. So they still feel a little closer to you. So I'd send this message to this guy, Mike, who I knew. He was a real estate investor, different part of the country and everything. I'd known him through, you know, my other business. And I just sent him a message. He and I were Facebook friends. And I sent him a message, you know, how are you? You know, hope you're having an awesome day. No response. I didn't think anything of it. I don't even know if this guy's on Facebook much, right? So 3 months go by. I didn't think about it again. He comes up on my list again. I look and I see that I sent him a message 3 months ago. I sent him another one. Nothing. No response. I didn't follow up or anything. I didn't think about it again. 3 months come by again. I sent him another one. I'm starting to wonder if I should keep messaging him. Anybody might feel the same way? And then I think, it's 2 seconds of my life. Big deal. Right? 3 months passes again. Now it's been a year. I send him a message. Hey dude, what's going on? How have you been? Send me an update. And this is what he sends me. Hey, Eric, thanks for the messages. Sorry I haven't responded. I don't get on Facebook that much. But I've been watching your journey, and I think I'd like to get involved. He sent me the package that he wanted to buy, right? So he sent me the package he wanted to buy, which was like a $400 package, that he wanted to come on as a distributor, and he wanted to get started right away, and could we set up a call in the next 2 days to talk about it? How many of you guys think that's pretty cool? Now, here's the thing. This is why I'm telling you this story. Don't prejudge who you should message, right? Don't prejudge like this person's not interested because you don't know what's going on. Don't make up a story for this to fill in the silence. And as long as you're using Teamzy and not overthinking it, you're not spending a lot of time and energy on these people. but you're sending out, you're sharing love. You're just like, it's just like a little bit of love going out all the time, and people will start to catch it. Does that make sense? So don't worry about it. So in that case, like, well, he didn't respond. There's no need for me to set a follow-up for him. Now, once he said, yes, let's have a call. Let's talk about this. Now you better believe he's on my follow-ups list. I'm going to set an appointment with him. We're going to get on the phone and we're going to have action steps, right? And then I'm going to give him, I would do a consultation. So we get on the phone, I'd ask him a bunch of questions, find out his goals, find out what he needs, right? Recommend products to him. Even though he already told me what he wanted, I would still make sure it was the right choice, right fit for him. And then he would have action steps. I start the coaching process. You need to do this, you need to purchase this by this date, we're going to put you in this group, right? And so that was the process that I would follow. And then he would go on my follow-ups list. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you probably need to go to your follow-ups list, Annie, and clear a lot of those follow-ups.
Can you give me an example of how to clear the follow-ups without like having to actually message?
Yeah, let me show you. I'll give you the actual example. So if you go over to your team page and you click under follow-ups, click this upcoming, you'll see the whole follow-ups list. Of course, I don't have any right now, so that's not a good idea. Let me set a follow-up so you see what I mean. Let's set a couple of follow-ups here. Let's just set a couple. Okay, so if you go to your team page and you click on upcoming follow-ups, you'll see all your follow-ups, okay? This will give you your whole list, Annie. So all 75 people that you have or whatever that are due will be here. And all you do to release them is if they're highlighted, you go over here to the right-hand side to the record and you just drop it back to default. And they disappear off the list. Okay, so for a show, we're going to put them on default. Boom, now it's cleared. Easy peasy. You can go down your list super fast and clear them.
Yeah, that just like cleared my anxiety. I'm so much better.
And you can always change a follow-up date. So if somebody's on your list and you end up talking to them, if you log a connect in Teamzy with anyone that's on your follow-ups list, it will clear the follow-up. So a couple things I want you guys to know as you're using it this month, especially you guys are going into your free trial. Make sure that you set a new follow-up on somebody you want to keep on your follow-ups list before you log the connect. Okay, so you do it inside. So always set your next follow-up. If you're ready to release them off your list, then you just log it and it will clear it. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. But you also might want to go in, like you've talked to somebody, now you want to go in and just change that follow-up to 2 weeks out, and you can just do the same thing. You go to their record and you can just change the date.
Okay, y'all don't be shy. We've got his full attention right now. If you got any questions, he knows that some of you are brand new to Teamzy, so whatever you've got to ask, go right ahead.
I have a question. Hey, Eric.
Hi, Candace.
Okay, so how would you work the distributor part? Like if you've got distributors on your team, but they don't work, or they've canceled their account, or they're just not active anymore. So when you get over to your distributors, you have none to follow up with. And like I have followed up with some just to say hi, see if they needed anything, but yet now my list is clear. So how can I get to my 100%?
Yep. What you'll probably want to do if you have a small team and you've got no one else to connect with over there, is you can set that goal down to 0 temporarily and just add that extra number to your your prospects list. And the way you change those numbers, let me just show you guys real quick. It's pretty easy. If you're on your dashboard at Teamzy, at the very top where it says edit daily goals, do you see where I'm hovering right there?
Yes.
That'll jump you to the income goal in the setup wizard. Just continue and then continue to the breakdown page. Here it is. And you can change your goal right there. Make it temporarily 0 there and then put the 3 there, 13.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you once you've continued one screen, you skip out, and now the new goals will be set up there. So you can just do 0 out. So if you guys are new, you'll want to do that. You'll want to put zeros on that end for now. And then you change it later. You can go back and change it. You can still connect with your distributors even if your goal is 0. Like if you should still be checking this list, and when they come back up, connect with them. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. I was worried about that.
Now, the other thing is if you guys realize your lists go empty, it may be because you've ranked a lot of people with really low star ratings, and you might want to make their star ratings a little higher so they come up more often. But also it might just be that you haven't added enough people to your list yet. You know, if you've only got a few hundred people on your list, Teamzy is going to blow through those in a couple weeks. So you need to be thinking about, racking your brain about all the people you know that you can put on this list. Okay? And then get out there and start meeting people. Again, about 8 weeks from now, I think about 8 weeks from now, I'll be sharing with Jenny my techniques for meeting new people and adding them to your list. Sorry, you got to wait. It's only a little skill every week. So hang in there. But you know, you guys probably know ways to do it too, but you're just looking to meet people, add value to their life. Just remember that meeting a new person and adding them to your list doesn't mean they're interested in ItWorks. It just means you've got something in common and a reason to say hello to them.
Thank you for answering my question.
Sure thing.
I have a question. So if you have somebody who's like not interested at all, like they've said no clearly to you, how do you deal with that on the Teamzy?
If they said no clearly to me, I would personally still stay in touch with them. And I would say something like, thank you very much. I appreciate and respect that. That is awesome. Could you do me a favor though, if you come across anybody who needs help in any of these areas, right? All the areas that you help with, would you keep me in mind and connect me with them? Okay. And most people will go, sure, I'll do that. Great. And let's just stay in touch. You know, I'll stay in touch. And if you ever need anything, I'm here. And the thing is then they're like, oh, okay. Can I share? Oh my gosh. I don't know if this is appropriate, but I'm going to share something with you guys. I think this is hilarious. This was posted in my bootcamp group today. Hopefully it's okay that I share this. I'm going to read it to you. I won't share it with you, but it's a message back and forth. Okay. And this is a Rodan and Fields consultant. And she says, this is a woman I have messaged in a salesy, spammy way once or twice over a year ago. It just goes to show, don't overthink and hit send. Never in a million years did I think this interaction would take place. Okay, so a lot of times when you've been in this business, you've tried it the other way and felt kind of weird and messed up some relationships, right? So that's what happened with this person. So here's her message. She says, hi, Eileen, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. Well, that sounds familiar. And Eileen's response is, and no solicitations, please. She says, my Teamzy friend says, my apologies, but since when is saying hello a solicitation? She says, nah, just how your other one started. Hello to you too then, with a smiley face. Right? Then she says, LOL, smiley face, just attempting to make you smile on a Monday, which by definition just seems necessary in this trying world of ours. I figure by now from my first message, you know what I do and offer, so I was just truly dropping in to say hello. She says, thanks. Yes, it is very trying and worrisome, and I'm on edge, as you can see. So can you briefly tell me on here about Lash Boost? Smiley face.
Wow.
Okay, so I wanted to show you that's a real, but I didn't want to, I don't have permission to share their names. Isn't that amazing? So here's somebody that she blasted in the past and is like, oh God, here she comes. She's going to try to sell me something. And when she realizes, no, kind of like I messed up and I'm sorry. I just wanted to say hello and sorry that happened. Then it's like the guard comes down. She's like, okay, great. The truth is she's interested in her product. Isn't that crazy? Do you remember how I said people want to do business with people they like? They want to do business with people they trust. Mm-hmm. She wanted the product, but she felt like her trust was trampled. So she didn't want it. She didn't want it from her. Does that make sense? It's just having the right heart. Now, look, you guys could take what I'm teaching you and be like, oh, I can manipulate this to sell so much stuff. But it's not going to work. Your heart has to be in the right place.
Hey, Eric, there's a question in the comments that's along those lines. So I wanted to go ahead and input that. And then we got Gina, who has a question that she's going to unmute herself and ask if that's okay. But okay. Destiny, she says, I have a problem with forgetting to log in Teamzy because I talk to so many people. And then she says, Jenny says she wants me to slow down because we talked about that today. And our number 4 income earner in our entire company is amazing. And she's one of Destiny's favorites. So Destiny uses a lot of her techniques. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And so her technique is get on Instagram and message as many people as you can in a day, whether you know them or not, relationship or not, and eventually someone's going to respond. And I'm not saying that's exactly how Destiny's run her business, but I do know that you love who I'm talking about. And so Destiny was saying, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm just not logging it because I'm spending so much time. And I told her whenever I introduced Teamzy to the team, I really had her in as one of the main people in my mind just because she's a rock star, but I want her to focus more on the relationships rather than the number. Will you speak to that?
Yes. So here's the thing to know is that every approach works, right? Some approaches are just a lot more work. Mm-hmm. They're just a lot more work. And in every organization, you've got top earners who are volume people. Mm-hmm. They're 10 miles wide and an inch deep. Mm-hmm. Now, again, that approach works. There's maybe 1% of people in the world who have the personality to handle that, who can actually do that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, again, it's not a criticism. And Destiny, you might be that person. That's great. And if you can do that, you can do that. Most of us, though, don't have that kind of hardy constitution. What I will tell you is you will get more results while investing less time and having more time for your family by going an inch wide and a mile deep. Does that make sense? Now, when people tell me that they don't have time to log in Teamzy, just shows me that they're missing the point of Teamzy altogether. Teamzy is not a filing cabinet where you log your activities. It's not a traditional CRM which acts like that, like a tracking system, just like where you go do what you go log. Teamzy tells you who to connect with. It actually drives your activity. So if you're using Teamzy the right way, it's telling you who's up next, and you're logging it right then. You can't forget because it's actually driving you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so you got to have it on your phone and ready to go, whatever. What I recommend you do, if you're really enjoying on messaging and meeting people on Instagram, that's great. Make that a portion of what you do. And as people interact with you on Instagram, put them in Teamzy and go deeper in that relationship. Does that make sense? And but you just have to understand that is 80% of your activity will come from 20% of your relationship. 80% of your business will come from 20% of your relationships. That's why we prioritize our list. You talk to some people more. So if you're spending all your time on like the 10%, then you're not going to have that much time to go deep. So my only recommendation for you is just to really think about, who you are and what approach feels best to you and how you want to build your business and your team. Because if you will need to build your team the same way, Destiny, you'll have to find other people willing to do that so that you can duplicate what you're doing with them, which is totally fine. And there are teams that are successful like that, right? So that's just, you got to do a little soul searching and decide, how do you want to build your business? Do you want to go more on relationship end, or do you want to go more on the volume end, or do you want to maybe find a happy medium somewhere in between? Does that make sense? So that's what I would say. You don't need to log. You won't need to log if you're actually letting it drive your activity, if that makes sense. And then somebody else was going to unmute and ask me a question.
Gina had a question. Are you still on here? Oh, yes, I see you. And Gina has an eye issue. She had to wear an eye patch to a field trip today for a scratched cornea, but it looks like her video is frozen. Are you able to unmute? Okay, she'll be working on that. And
I don't see Gina on here.
Gina Penrod, it's Jeana.
Oh, I see her. There she is. I can unmute you, Gina. Let's see. Oh, no, she's frozen. Yeah, her internet's frozen up right now.
I'm sure she's trying to get back on. I just want to say, with Destiny, what she was going through, I went through that too. I was like used to working the numbers. I mean, in a relationship way, but way more numbers. So then when I had to slow down, it was like a little bit panicky at first. And then last month I worked way less, but enrolled more people. So I was sold and I was ready to share. Gina's still frozen. Sonia says, Eric, you spoke about following up with a person 3 days in a row. What are you saying those 3 days without sounding redundant? That's a great question.
Okay, Sonia, I'm going to show you exactly what I would say because there are scripts in Teamzy. And I wouldn't, these are my, wait a second, hold on. Wait, before I do this, see, I ended up sharing the thing I didn't want to share with you guys. It's all right. Nobody can speed read that quick, right? Okay, so this is what I would say. Right, where am I doing? Scripts. These are my scripts, so this is exactly what I would say. All right, hold on a second. Let me get on prospects. Scripts. First one is this. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? That's day one. Day two is this one. Hi, Jane, just making sure you got my email and checking in to see if you have any questions. Day three is this. Hi, Jane, I'm excited about the goals we discussed. Can't wait to get started. Am I being redundant? No, I mean, maybe. Redundancy is not the issue. In fact, following up 10 times is redundant by definition. What I'm trying to do is keep it light, stay present, let her know I care, and then I'm committed to following through on my word. I told her I was going to help her, right? So following up for me, that's what it is. I say it's an act of love, but it's also following through on my word. In fact, if you read even some of the ways I word these things, just checking in like I promised I would. I'm letting her know in my very first follow-up that I take this promise seriously and our friendship seriously. I told her I'd follow up and I'm going to. So it's not like, hey, I'm here to harass you and bug you. No, I'm checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me, right? Number 4, staying in touch so I can help you achieve your goals. Number 5, I hope you're doing well. I'm here when you're ready. Okay? This is where I start to get a response usually. Number 6, hi, Jane, I know you're excited about getting started, and I promise to be here to help you along the way. Do you have any questions for me? Right? So this is where we start to get, usually between the 5 and the 6 is where I'll get that first response.
So you've got them in that order for a reason. Not only are you following up as an act of love, but you're also conditioning that subconscious mind that you talked about and getting them used to the idea of you and those endorphins and the feel good. And I just love it. I just love the whole science behind it, and just loving on people. It's just perfect.
Well, it's about time that somebody used that science to help people in sales rather than take advantage.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And that's really where your heart needs to be from. And as long as you're there, you don't have to worry about the way sounding redundant, or you don't have to worry about people thinking that you're weird. I mean, if your heart's in the right place, it's going to come across right.
Absolutely. I see Gina's back on. Gina, are you ready to unmute yourself for your question? I told him about your eye. Okay, she's done now.
Everything froze for a minute, so I didn't hear anything. What did you tell him?
I just told him you had to wear an eye patch on a field trip today, that you had a scratched cornea or something.
Oh my gosh, it was so embarrassing. Okay, my question is, a lot of the customers, they have like a certain day of the month that their order runs, and ideally I would really like to be able to contact them maybe like 10 days, 2 weeks to 10 days prior to their next order, just to make sure that what they're getting next is what they want, that they're happy with what they have. Is there a way to do that, to schedule them on a certain day? Like, I have everybody ranked, but is there a way to do that so they come up in my contacts to connect with and in my customer list for a certain date?
Okay, so that's a good question. There's a couple ways you can do that. One thing I want you to know that is that if you are just staying in touch with them regularly as they come up, it doesn't become as important to do that. The other thing is this, is when you get to a certain level, you're not going to be able to talk to your customers every month. You're just going to have too many. So I don't want you to get married to a system that you won't be able to maintain when you have 5,000 customers, okay? Mm-hmm. But what you can do now is, the easiest thing to do is to tag the day of the month that their order comes through as a tag. Okay, so if their order refills on the 25th of the month, every month, is that how it works?
Yes.
Typically? Okay, so let's say, so somebody comes through, they put an order in, you put the tag 25th. So then you can go through and you can pull up on any given day, you can pull up by tag everyone that's going to be on the 25th, let's say on the week before. You can click that tag and it'll give you the list of everybody whose order fulfills on that day, and you could start working down that list. So you could do that if you wanted to. Does that make sense?
I have no idea what you mean when you say tag, because I'm not a technology girl. I'm a pen and paper girl.
All right. Well, you can't stick, being a pen and paper girl is fine. That's what you were, but you got to start using technology. Okay. It's
No,
like,
no, I love this. I love this system.
okay. So look, here's how you do tag. If, let's say I'm going to go to Hobie's record, right? So I'm on this record. Hobie buys something. Booster, I don't know, whatever. She buys the something. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add right here where it says create tags. I'm going to create a tag that says 25th.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the next person on my list, let's say Kathy, let's say she does the same thing, right? And I'm going to create the same tag. Okay. And so everyone with that renews on the 25th will have that tag. Now, if I go over to tags on the left side, see where it says 25th? If I click that,
Yeah.
I get the list of everyone with that tag.
Okay.
So I could go down and work the list. So if you want to do that, you can. Now, I don't recommend doing that. I think it's a layer of complication that you don't need. Honestly, now, if you want to do it, that's cool. If that system works for you, do it. That's great. Whatever works for you is great. But for everyone else on the call, honestly, just keeping it simple, going down your up next list, prospects, customers, distributors, follow-ups, just keep it simple as possible. That's enough to keep you in touch with everybody and crank through your list. So you can add things like that. You can leverage the system. It's flexible to do things that you want it to do. I like using tags. For example, I did a full training on tags, by the way, in the Help Center if you guys want to watch it. But one of the things I love to tag is what products people buy. So then you can pull up a list of everybody who bought, keto coffee. Everyone who bought keto coffee, I got a list of them. And there's a special this week on keto creamer. Right? I know I'm not an expert on your products, but I watched one of Jenny's videos the other day and I was like, that looks really good. So, right? So now I could grab that list and be like, hey, there's a special. I just wanted to let you know because you like keto coffee. And I don't have to rack my brains on who ordered that in the past.
I love the tags too for what they're interested in. So if we have a sale like BOGO wraps or whatever, then I know everybody who's been interested in wraps. And Gina, don't forget, she's coughing, she may not can hear me. Don't forget they get that email a couple of days ahead of time. So you don't feel like you have to contact everybody before their shipment. Because I feel like there's other ways to spend your time. And I did that, and I'm just telling you from experience that I did that, and it was so overwhelming when I got like 20 customers orders going at one time, and it was like I wasn't doing anything else but contacting them about their order. So I don't think you got to do that.
That's exactly what I'm envisioning. When your business starts cranking, you want systems. Okay, so my kids are already asleep, so it's all right. You want systems now. When your team's not big, you want to start thinking like you've got a multi-million-dollar business. And you want to start putting systems in place now that are going to help you run your big business. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you want to start thinking about, okay, well, what's the system that is going to help me manage this business when it's much bigger? Obviously you're not going to know 100%, and every time you go through a growth phase of your business, all your systems will break. And you'll go through an overwhelming, messy in the middle phase. That's normal. Okay, don't worry about that. That's normal. How many of you guys would prefer hair on fire, busy, overwhelmed to nothing's happening in my business? Why is nothing happening for me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. So when I complain about being busy, I'm very blessed and excited that my life is chaotic in a good way, right? Things are happening. But you just got to try to get the systems to kind of keep things in order as best you can. Teamzy is going to be a huge help to you guys. That'll help you a ton. You'll still find other ways to get crazy overwhelmed in other areas for sure. All right, quick. I want to give you guys some action steps, and then I got to send you on your way. All right. Where's my keynote? Here's your action steps. First off, get your 30-day free trial. That's a no-brainer. If you're still on with me, oh my gosh, we've been talking for 2 hours. Guys, if you're still here with me, you got to get in your free trial. That's a no-brainer. It's free for 30 days, okay? If you're already in a free trial, set up your subscription, okay, so that you don't miss a beat when your free time ends. So you have to set that up. It's just going to end if you don't, right? The subscription is, if you do it monthly, it's $29.99 a month. That's less than $1 a day to have this assisted in your business, okay? You can save 2 months if you buy a year in advance. It comes down to even less. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Get your thing set up. I recommend that you get a 30-day success partner to do the free trial with you. Okay? Just pick somebody. It's just for 30 days. You're not married to them forever as your success partner, but I want you guys to hold each other accountable to doing it and message each other your completed dashboard every day. Just take a screenshot of it, send it to each other. You'll get so much done this way. Okay, and then the third action step is this. I'm going to give you a 5-day challenge. I want you during your trial, or if you're already through your trial, just do it now. I want you to connect with 100 people in 5 days. Okay, 5 straight days, no days off. 5 days in a row. That's an average of 20 a day. It'll take you less than 30 minutes. Here's why I want you to do the 5-day challenge. You will feel how much momentum you can create in 5 days just reaching out to people. It will actually probably freak you out and you'll be like, I can't do this. This is too busy. But it's I want you to understand how much momentum you can create just by being consistent 5 days in a row. Okay? And how awesome is that? You can just reach out, connect with people, start conversations, love on people, and create a full pipeline of interested folks over time. Okay, so who's in for the 5-day challenge? Let me just see your hands, give you some accountability. Okay, great. So partner up with each other, hold each other accountable doing it. I know some of you guys are already in a challenge group right now as a team, which is great. Push each other a little bit during those 30 days. You're going to blow your mind with what you can get achieved in a short amount of time. Make sense? Okay, cool. All right, I'll take one more question if you have any more. Otherwise, I'll bless you and send you guys on your way.
I have one. I have a question.
Okay.
This is Mary. Your thing just said iPhone.
Mary, iPhone. You were talking about the invites. So if you're fairly new, you won't have as many invites, is what you were saying earlier, right? You want to wait and build that relationship before you start inviting.
Okay, so if you start Teamzy tonight, you'll start sending messages that are like, how are you? Hope you're having an awesome day. People will say, I'm doing great. How are you? The conversation may take a few days before it gets somewhere.
Okay.
So you're going to be so day 1, you might not send any invites. It might just be connects. It might be week 2 before you send any invites because those first conversations got somewhere. Does that make sense?
Yes.
By the time you get to the 3rd week of using Teamzy 5 days a week consistently, you will have you'll be inviting 3 a day.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
I have invited some, but it was people who I had already been in contact with
Right.
before I started this. So, okay.
Does that make sense? It just takes a little bit of time.
Absolutely.
And a lot of those conversations will go nowhere. Some people won't respond, but some will progress and get there. And then some people, again, so it's not an exact science, but if you do it consistently, after a few weeks, that pipeline will be full and you just keep going.
Great.
Make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Here's the thing that I will tell you. I am absolutely 100% confident that you will generate some income that first month and it will be enough to pay for Teamzy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I give it to you free for a month. I don't feel like anybody could possibly use this free trial and not pay for their subscription to Teamzy. Even if you're brand new and you don't have, as my dad would say, 2 shekels to rub together. Okay? So get after it, get some going, help some people, get that commission, invest in your business, get your assistant for $1 a day that runs the business for you, and keep going. Cool? Okay, well, thank you guys so much. It's been fun. My wife's going to beat me probably for taking so long, but hopefully it was really helpful to you guys. I appreciate you guys for inviting me. I'm really excited to be working with all of you. We'll be more than thrilled to have you in our Teamzy family. So thank you guys so much tonight for being here with me. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.